Well, when I was in government, and since I've left government, I have actually paid much attention to what I call human security in all ramifications of it. And you know that this is quite a wide area. Human security covers food security, employment security, personal security, peace and conflict resolution, all aspects of human security. And that has been the area I pay much attention.
Now, right now within Nigeria, there are many challenges. We've seen the sad death of President Umaru Yar'Adua and then the takeover officially by President Goodluck Jonathan. But preceding all of this was a lot of confusion and what people called a leadership crisis in Nigeria. When you look at what's happened in recent months, are you proud of the country that Nigeria has become?
I am very proud of the country. The crisis we will talk about is what I call unnecessary crisis. But it has come. We have weathered the storm. We have managed to emerge from it. And I believe that the way we have managed to emerge from it, it should go a long way or some way to strengthen our unity and to deepen our democratic practice. We have tested part of our constitution. If there is demise of the president, what happens? How does it happen? Now, this is the first time we are trying that and testing it, and it seemed to have worked. So we have a constitution. We are following the constitution. Initially, we didn't seem to have followed the constitution properly. That is what created what you call the crisis. But the crisis is over from that point of view.
What makes elections such a tricky business in Nigeria?
I do hope that the electoral reform will make sure that immediately after an election, that whatever may be the disputes and the contentions will be ironed out before those who have won the election are sworn in. You don't have a situation where 3 years after an elected man has been sworn into office, tribunals are still going on, and 1 year to the end of his term, the tribunal now declared that he hadn't won or he hadn't been properly declared. That to me looks ridiculous. That, I believe, is the sort of thing. I also believe that we should move away from substituting what I call judicial democracy for people's democracy. The judiciary should adjudicate, and if a declaration or an election is faulty, they should order it run. They should not be the one to now re-declare an individual as the winner.
Now, many people have said that you're a kingmaker in Nigerian politics. Will you be backing the candidature of President Goodluck Jonathan, although he's been at pains to say that he won't be standing? There are calls for him to continue.
No, for me, it is too early to say who will be backed or who will not be backed. For instance, President Jonathan has not told anybody that he will contest. He hasn't told anybody that he will not contest. What is important for me is that whoever is the candidate of my party, the PDP, after we have gone through the process of primaries, and whoever emerges, I will support. And I hope whoever emerges will win.
In terms of your legacy, President Obasanjo, Nigeria grew above 6% when you were in office. We saw international debts being cancelled and just general regalvanization of the Nigerian economy. However, as part of your electoral promises in both terms, you promised Nigerians to deal with the issue of uninterrupted energy supply with petrol shortages. But to this day, these remain persistent problems in Nigeria. so much so that it affects the investment grading of Nigeria and how people perceive it. How do you respond to that?
You are not right there. Petroleum shortage had been dealt with. Now, the fact that a road that was built was badly maintained and that road had to be closed does not mean that that road has not been built. It means that that road has not been well maintained. And you then blame the one who built the road or the one who should have maintained the road and who fails to maintain it. I leave that to you. Now, the issue of power. I have said this times and time again. When I came to power in 1999, for a space of almost 20 years, there had not been government investment in power generation. Now that gap cannot be filled overnight. And of course, for about 3 years, between 1999 and 2002, we were pressing the oil companies, please, instead of flaring the gas, use it for power generation. Only one of the oil companies, Agip, play the game. When we then started making money from oil price going up from about 2003, we then devised what we call National Independent Power Production, NIPP, and we moved to what should lead us to about 10,000 megawatts of power production. The government that succeeded us stopped that. For 2.5 years, they put a halt to it. Now, you don't blame me for that.
Now, the situation in the Niger Delta is also something that's quite unsettling. The Niger Delta produces all of Nigeria's oil, which is 90% of an export generator or foreign exchange generator for the Nigerian economy. When you were in office, you took the position to fight fire with fire. Your successor chose to talk and negotiate with the rebels within the region. And right now, people are not really sure what the status of that peace process is. How do you think the situation ought to be approached? Because militancy didn't work and diplomacy doesn't seem to be working very well either.
No, I think you are wrong. I didn't opt for fire. I opted for dialogue. And in fact, every quarter, what I was doing was to get all stakeholders, all without any exception, the community leaders, the militant, the governors, the oil companies, everybody together under the same roof and discuss what are the issues and how can we resolve them. I met 35 militants face to face in their midst. What are your grievances? What are your problems? How do we solve the problems? And somebody said, look, you are meeting with murderers. I say, yes, I accept. But if I don't meet with murderers, how will I be able to solve the problem that murderers are heaping on the country? Now, giving amnesty is one of the ways, but it's not the only way, because the problem of the Niger Delta is not just a military problem, it's not just a social problem, it's not just a political problem, it's not just an economic problem, it's all of these put together. And if you deal with one aspect, which is the criminal problem, by giving amnesty, how do you go forward from there and deal with the rest so that you now can have a permanent solution? And that is where we should go from here.